Hey everyone. So today we're finishing off chapter 11. And so it's the last paragraph thought in chapter 11. And Paul starts in 25. He says, "Lest you be wise in your own sight, I do not want you to be unaware of this mystery, brothers. A partial hardening has come upon Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in." And so Paul goes in right away and talks about wisdom. And then he talks about the mystery, right? So this is the first time Paul mentions the mystery in his epistles. And then Paul also talked about being a steward of the gospel. I believe he talked about that in Ephesians. And so he goes on to quote Isaiah, right? The deliverer will come from Zion. And then it says, and this will be my covenant with them, and I will take away their sins. So Zion is referring to the city of the living God, right? It also refers to, and the covenant refers to Jesus, right? So he's going on to talk about Jesus, and then Zion refers to Jerusalem. And then down in verse 28, we see him talking about the election. And then 29, we see, for the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. So God's given us all gifts, right? And he's given us a calling. Yeah. Wow. And then, and concerning the fullness of the Gentiles, I'm reminded of Matthew 25, right? Where it's the parable of the 10 virgins, right? Where the wise had oil, right, for their lamps, and that oil represents relationship with God. And then it also talks about the door being shut. So with the fullness of the Gentiles, right, all the fullness of the Gentiles have to come in, right? Yeah. And then down in verse 33, Paul goes on to say, "Oh, the depth of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God, how unsearchable are his judgments, and how inscrutable his ways." And he goes on and says, "For who has known the mind of the Lord, or who has been his counselor?" He's quoting the Old Testament. "Or who has given a gift to him that he might be repaid?" And then in verse 36, he says, "For from him and through him and to him all things, to him be the glory forever." That reminds me of John, right? All things are made for God, right? And through him. So much of this last part talks about wisdom, and then check it out. Between verse 33 and 36, God, his, and Lord, it references to God 11 times, right? So we should have heavenly wisdom, not earthly wisdom, right? Man, just don't lean on our own understanding, but lean on God's word and his wisdom for our life. So the final takeaway is lean on God's wisdom, right, today, guys? And then use your gifts, guys. God gave us gifts, and then we should yield to his calling in our life, right? So my encouragement to you guys is rely on heavenly wisdom, right? And walk in your gifts. I know you guys have gifts. You guys are so wonderful. And yield to his calling in your life, guys. Yeah, yield to his calling. Alright, guys. You have a good day, alright? God bless you. Bye-bye.